Welcome back to another video. Hopefully the last video that I released, which was the first week in the life of a part-time reseller, hopefully that was well received, because I'm just gonna crack on and do the same this week. Now it's Monday, so as I said in the last video, Monday is very much about getting the orders out the door and then planning for the rest of the week, which is Tuesday to Monday. I'm very much up against it today. So my daughter didn't sleep through the night very well last night, so we've all been up since like 3 o'clock this morning. So we're all knackered. Work's been really busy this morning. It's now midday and I've yet to get any orders out the door. So we'll pick and pack the orders, and then hopefully I'll be able to do some planning. Planning shouldn't take too long this week because I've already sent the items to the VA. I think that what I need to decide is how many items I release each day, but I'll talk about that in a few minutes. So let's first see what we've sold over the weekend. And it's not a lot, pretty much on par with what it was last week. And again, just to reiterate, I haven't listed anything now for 2 weeks, so I wasn't expecting massive amount of sales. But let's jump into it. So we have sold 6 items for £146. I don't think that's too bad. The value, not the amount. 6 items is really poor, but every single item is above that ASP that I'm after. So I can't grumble on the items that have sold. I would definitely have liked more items to sell at that ASP, but I'm pretty satisfied with what we've got so far. So let me show you what we've done. Right, so first of all, we have A1703. A1703 is a pair of Dickies work shorts, again from that Fleek wholesale bundle. They have gone for $15.99. A1910. A1910 is a pair of Levi's 512s, and they have sold for £21. Decent. A903. A903 is the True Religion denim jacket. It's like a cropped ladies denim jacket. I picked that up from the car boot. I think I paid $8 for it. It's gone for 18. Now, the reason why it's gone for a little bit lower, I think, is because the size wasn't great. It says medium in the listing, but however, it was a very small medium if it was a medium. And it was cropped. I just don't think it's very fashionable at the minute. Could be wrong. I had it listed for 20 because that's what other souls had told me it was worth. Somebody offered me 18. I'm not going to hang around with it. B303. B303 is a Jules dress. It's a really long dress. It's got a load of little ducks on it. I actually picked those two up at the same car boot. People that was actually next to each other, so happy days. That one's gone for $24.99. C1609. I've had this for quite a while now. It's got to be eight or 9 months. It is, I can't really show you, it's a purple and yellow and black anorak is what I've listed it as. It's by Jack Jones. So I got this from a charity shop, but it was on a £2 sale rail, so it cost me £2. That sold for $28.99, but it has taken a while to sell. I could have probably listed it a bit cheaper to get it shifted, but I was in no rush, and it eventually sold. Weirdly, on one of the hottest days of the year so far, but you know, we'll take it. And then lastly, we got F110. Which is an Orvis shirt from the Boom Wholesale Sack from the previous video you've just watched, or the one before the previous one. One of them, I can't remember. And that has gone for 20 quid. So really good ASPs on them. Just not enough quantity to really push the needle forward. Right, time to get unpacked. Hey guys, welcome to Tuesday. Squeaky brakes. Now Monday I had 2 sales come in, so I will show you them later. Normally I go to the office on a Wednesday. However, I actually have to travel to the office today. There's a member of our team leaving us today, so we're all going in to say goodbye to her, which should be nice. It'd be a bit more relaxed of a day, not all sat in front of a laptop, I wouldn't have thought. So that's good. It does mean I don't have to go to the office on Wednesday, which is great. But it does mean I'll probably get home quite late tonight, so there won't be much in the way of eBay today. I did a bit of planning last night, but I did it really late last night. I really could not be bothered to put the camera on, so I thought I'd talk you through this week's plan. So in the end, we didn't have a terrible week. I am yet to run the final figures, but I think we actually made profit this week, which is unusual. It wasn't a lot of profit, don't get me wrong. I think it was like 30 quid, but it's better than a kick in the teeth, I suppose. And that was all due to not sourcing, so I feel like the not sourcing last week was the right decision. And because we had a couple of higher ASP sales, it's kind of worked out okay. This week I will definitely need to get stock because that table is still empty, so I will be purchasing another wholesale sack from Boom Wholesale this week. It does mean that it probably won't get here till next week, but that's fine. So I will do a Boom Wholesale sack today. I'll purchase that today, and then I will also take a little bit of money, not a lot, to a car boot on the weekend.
weekend if the weather stays like it is. I mean, it's currently 6:30 in the morning and it is beautiful sunshine. So hopefully the rest of the week stays that way and I can go and spend a little bit of money at the car boot. I'm going to have to be quite savvy with what I buy at the car boot because I still don't have a great amount in the kitty. But I feel like that's the plan. My VA has already started on the drafts, so I should be able to get some listings up. I think that because I'm starting from 0 again, I'm going to only list 5 a day and build back up to the 10, just so that I can make sure that I can sustain 5 a day whilst building up. I don't want to go and list 10 a day this week and then have nothing again for next week, because the peaks and troughs will be so high on the graph for what is sold. It's really hard to work out that way. So I feel like I'm going to list 5 every single day, and then in the time that I've got for them 5, so I'll probably have 10 days worth. I've then got to get another load of items to the VA, so I've got 10 days to find some more stock to send to the VA and then build back up to 10 a day. That was the plan for the week. I will try and overlay some graphs like last week so I can show you where we fell. We did better than last week for revenue. We did better than last week for outgoings, obviously, because I didn't source anything. But it was still really low. Like, although I said I did better than last week for revenue, it was my second worst week this year. So to put it into perspective, it was still rubbish, but it was better than last week. And again, I've not listed anything now for 2 weeks, so wasn't expecting anything from it, if I'm being completely honest. I feel like this week will be the week where we start to pull that graph back towards where it needs to be, but I don't believe it will be back where it was until I'm back at 10 a day. So that was the planning session I had last night. Just got to execute. Just got to make sure that we don't miss any of the plans, and we shouldn't do. I mean, the plan is really simple. The VA has all the items. There's not a lot I can do now with that side of things. I've got to source stock, and like I say, I've got about 10 days to list to photograph some more stocks for the VA. So this week's plan should be pretty smooth. There shouldn't really be any problems. So I will leave it there for now. I will check back in later this evening with the items that have sold on Monday night, and if we've got any sales that come in today, happy days, I'll show you them as well. Right, so we're back from the office. It's much later now, it's like 7 o'clock in the evening. Although it's still really warm outside, it's still really light. And because today has been so warm, my eBay sales have been really good, because I have a lot of shorts listed, and I've had 7 sales today, and the most of them are shorts and t-shirts. Brilliant, can't be bad. So I've made 7 sales for £165. Now granted, 2 of them came in on Monday evening, Monday night, but all in all, I think it's 126 quid for today for 5 items. They've all got a decent ASP. Brilliant. Let me talk you through what's sold. So first up we have B203. B203 is a pair of Lee shorts. They came from the Fleet wholesale bale that was just cargo shorts. So I think the price per item was £4 something, and they have sold for 18 quid on offer. I think they had them listed for 22, which is quite high for Lee cargo shorts on eBay. So I'm really happy to get 18 quid for them. Next up we have B610. B610 are a pair of Wrangler shorts from the same bale as the Lee ones. They have gone for £26.99. Love that. C902. Now, I am surprised that this particular t-shirt has hung around for as long as it has. It's a proper 80s t-shirt. I think it even says 1988 on it. It's got a really cool graphic, and it was listed as single stitch Kiki Beach 1988, and I listed it reasonably well, I think, but nobody's really looked at it until today, and I've had it, it's got to be 9 or 10 months now, but it has sold, and it's sold for the full asking price of £17.99. Originally I had it listed for 20 quid. I slowly brought the price down, and I've got the sale at £17.99. E2004. E2004 is an Iron Maiden t-shirt. It is brand new without tags. Yeah, brand new without tags. I paid £2 for that one, and that has sold for £13.99, and that hasn't taken very long at all. I only picked that up a month ago, so really good return on that. That's the only item today that's below the ASP that I actually desire. So the next one is a lovely one. Is F201. And the reason why it's so good is because it's from a multi-quantity listing. Now, I picked up 3 brand new Rohan shorts, exactly the same, from a charity shop, and they were £3 each. And the first one sold this morning. I took an offer of 24. They're all the same size. And the second one sold 2 hours later, a full asking price of £26.99. Different buyers, multi-quantity. I've got one left now. I'm pretty confident that that's going to sell soon. My experience is that once 1 or 2 of your multi-quantity items sell, kind of pushes it a little bit more, so you seem to sell more of the same item. Just my theory. And then lastly we have a pair of shorts, but I don't have a SKU number for it. Oh no. I've sold a pair of Old Navy cargo shorts. They're camouflaged. I've achieved 20 quid, but there's no SKU number on it. And there's nothing in the picture either. So the first job tomorrow go through the nearly 1,000 items that I've got and look for camo print shorts. Now I know it's not going to be an F because I've only just done F, so I can ignore that. I reckon it'll be in B. I'm pretty confident it'll be in B. So that was the sales from Tuesday. Now hopefully I get a few more overnight, and then when we go to the post office tomorrow, I'll have a big IKEA bag full, which would be a lovely start to the week, considering already today we've pulled in more money than I did the entire of last week. So great stuff. I do have a question for you full-time resellers out there. Do you find it easier as a full-time reseller compared to when you did it part-time? Because sometimes I feel like if I had 8 hours to source every day and list every day and post every day, I feel like I'd be more efficient. So I just wondered how you find it. Do you find it easier being a full-time reseller or harder? Is it more difficult because you've got to find more items to list on the day? Or is it easier to manage because you've got more time to get the items to list? I'd be interested to see what your thoughts are on it. Because I always keep, in my mind, I keep messing with the idea that perhaps if I dropped a day at work and I did a full day of eBay, I would be more efficient because I have that full 8 hours of work time to work on the business. But it's the unknown. You don't know what you don't know. So I might do a trial when I get holidays from work. I might do like a week's holiday from work and act like I'm just doing eBay full time for that week as a trial to see where it lands. I say, just letting you know what I'm thinking at this point. Anyway, I'm going to call Tuesday. I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, guys. It is Wednesday morning and it's 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm already knackered. Been up since 3. The daughter just didn't want to sleep, so thought I'd get an early start. I've got to find those shorts that I have misplaced, which is not going to be a fun start. So I'm just going to start from A and work round. I had to think last night of where it could be, and I realised that a lot of the shorts went into A, not into B. So just going to start pulling boxes out and see if I can find them. Right, A403 looks promising, camo. But I have got a lot of camo, so let's see. Hopefully it's this one. Nope. A409 is camo, but not the right ones. I thought it was too good to be true. Well, that's all of A checked and it's not in there. I was right, most of the shorts are in there. Just not the ones I'm looking for. This is the biggest drawback of my skewing system. If I did the sequential numbering system like a lot of clothing resellers do, I could go to the dates that I listed those items and kind of know the area that it would be in. But because of the way I do my skew system, it's when a location becomes available
that location gets filled. So although I had lots of locations available in A at the time, not all the shorts went into A. There will be some in B, C, D and E. So they really could be anywhere. I really need to be mindful when I send listings live that the SKU number is in the listing to prevent this from happening, because normally I don't lose an item. If I've got the SKU number, the item is where I expect it to be. And normally this system is the quickest one I've used. I've tried the sequential numbering system and consolidating down, but it wasn't for me. Numbers in general aren't exactly my bag. So if I had an item that sold and it was number, I don't know, 15,464, and I had to try and work out where it was in between, it would take me a good 10-15 seconds to work out what is in between these two, and I'd pull out and have to search through them, and before I knew it I was wasting like 20 or 30 seconds to pull an item. Whereas now if I go, oh, it's E704, if there is one in there, E704, nice and quick. And when I talk about growing a business, the companies that I've worked for in the past in my 9-to-5 job, they do numbering systems like this, not sequential numbering systems. Which makes sense because it's easier to train somebody that this is a location, E704 is a location, or you've got to go and find this number between these group of numbers. It's more efficient a lot later on in the process as well if you do get to employ somebody. Anyway, I'm gonna find these shorts. Well, it's not in B and C either. Oh, my luck, it'd be in the last one that I look in. Keep going. And found it in the second to last box that I was checking. E1910 Old Navy camo shorts. That took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. I should have known that it was going to be in the last box that I was looking at, so I should have started in reverse, if I'm being honest. But then it still wouldn't have worked out, would it? Anyway, lesson learned. Always check my listings before I put them live. So what I do is when I take photographs, I take a photograph of the SKU number as the last photograph for the VA. Now sometimes when I upload to the Google Drive that he fetches them from, not all the photos get listed up, or they don't seem to download properly. And sometimes, if it's a key photo, the VA will say, I'm missing a few photos from this particular item. But if it's just the SKU photo, he just normally puts in the listing SKU missing. And what I've done is I've not done my due diligence, and I've just clicked 10 to go live and not seen that there's a SKU number missing. That's all my fault, because I should have checked. And now I've learnt a hard lesson. Anyway, I'm going to get this lot packed. Didn't have any more sales coming overnight, so you've already seen what's going out. I'm going to get packed and then sent to the post office. Good morning and welcome to Thursday. I've had one sale overnight, and although it's not for very much, £16.19p, these sales really make me happy, because in my head it feels like I've made money whilst I'm sleeping. And I know it's not really. I've made my money when I purchased the item, I made my money when I listed the item, but the actual sale came when I was asleep. So in my head it feels like I've made money while sleeping. Not a lot, but still something. So let's get that item picked. It is in E1703, so we're down here, E1703, and it is a Star Wars t-shirt. I can't remember if it had a graphic on the back. I think it's got a Phantom Menace graphic on the back. I'll flash it up on screen now to show you. And that's everything. So we had a total yesterday of 6 items sell for £132. Brilliant start to the week. So far we're on track to be my best week this year, off the back of 2 of my worst weeks. Now it all could go down the toilet today, but gotta look on the positive side. The sun's out, people are getting paid, and hopefully they're going to buy some of the stuff that's in my store. Right, next job, pack these up, ready for lunchtime when I can take them to the post office. So, for me, I've got an abnormal package, so don't normally have things of this size anymore, because I'm 90%, probably at this point, 98% clothing. So normally I'm not geared up for this type of thing. But because I know that I still do pick up weird and wonderful things and opportunities will come,
I still pick up unusual size boxes. So when I was at work the other day, there was this box sat there, and knowing that I had that item listed and knowing I didn't have a box for it, I decided that this would be the perfect box for me to make a Frankenstein box from. So that's how I'm going to package that particular item. All I will do is I will take the box to pieces. Like so, and then hopefully, like it was made for it. Something like that. But you can already see that because I'm not set up for this, how long it's taken me to package compared to throw it in a bag. So these pickups will be few and far between. Until I can have a proper space and dedicated packaging and things like that for it. You know, if I had lots of vacuum cleaners where I had a station where I could test them, store them and package them, so you're geared up for it, it would be a lot quicker than this. But because I don't know the best way of packaging this, I don't have boxes that fit this size, it's always going to be a Frankenstein box. So, right, so then what I will do is I need to secure the ends a little bit. So I'll just use some newspaper. I will just shove it in the end, and then what I will do is I will use some black wrap. Like so, so all the ends are nicely secure, and then I will once again put some more tape on it. And there we have it. One vacuum cleaner part packaged up by a clothing reseller that doesn't know what he's doing with this. It's not the first vacuum cleaner part I've sold, in all fairness, so I kind of had an idea of how I was going to do it. The other problem is as well, I'm not sure if this stays in within the medium sizing. So it'll have to go as a large suitcase, which sucks. Doesn't weigh that much, I wouldn't have thought, so let's just weigh it. $730 grams. I really only have two options, and one of them isn't feasible at all. So Yodel drop off, which I don't particularly like using Yodel, is £3.71, or Parcel Force, which is £13.63, which means I will make no money off that sale, so we're going Yodel. There we have it, all packed up. ready to go. Now, some of you might have noticed that I ship almost every single day, but on my actual eBay it says 3-day handling time. I try to get everything out the day after it's ordered. Sometimes if people are lucky, and if somebody was to order something now and purchase something now, it'd go out the same day. So I kind of do same day up till midday, because that's when I have to go to the post office. So if somebody ordered something at 11:30 in the morning, I'm already coming back to the garage to pick up the stuff. I just print the label and away we go. So some people will get same day, even though my handling time is normally 3 days. And I think the reason why I get such good feedback on eBay is because I over deliver on what I'm saying. So even for my photo setup, I do not have the perfect photo setup. I have some crummy lights from Amazon, I think they are, and I've got an old ring light here. So I've got an old ring light hanging by some cable ties. I've got a light here which is just taped to a shelf, and I've got a light here that's on a stand. They are the newer lights, so they're quite bright, but they only highlight a small area, so there's a lot of shadows on my pictures. I'll put a picture up as an example of the shadows that I'm talking about, and you'll be able to see that it's not a perfect picture. You know, some of the eBay stores have completely white backgrounds and the picture looks almost like professionally done. Now, what I've found is I feel like I get a lot less returns because the picture is good enough for them to purchase and gives them confidence to purchase from. And when they get the item, it's actually better than they thought it was. I've had a few comments saying that the item is better than it was in the pictures. And I feel like that's the same experience with the packaging, the postage. So I say I have a 3-day handling time, they're still happy to purchase, but in reality, some people are getting it 2 days later. Now, I do everything second class standard. And the reason why I do second class standard is, first of all, it's cheapest for me. Secondly, you get tracking anyway with second class standard once delivery has been attempted. And with eBay's new automated feedback, it still works with second class standard, because once it's been delivered, tracking is provided. So I am still having the benefits of the second class standard price point and getting eBay's automated service for feedback. So win-win for me. Now, there will be times where somebody asks for the item a bit sooner, you know, I need it for the weekend, etc. Then I will happily get it to them as quickly as I can. 24-hour tracked or whatever. Not a problem. My only caveat to that is when normally they message and saying, if I purchase this, can I get it before the weekend? I normally say, if you purchase it at full price, then I will post it 24 hours tracked. If you want to knock money off, then the postage stays the same. So they are basically paying extra for the postage. They're not using the 10% coupon, and they're not trying to get any more money off. So I don't really lose out. Anyway, that's Thursday morning done. I'll get this to the post office and I'll check back in later. Oh, the VA has completed all of the photographs, so we're good. We've got 70 odd photographs to go through. So that's going to see us through for 2 weeks because I'm listing 5 a day. So I've done the first 5. Don't worry, I've checked to make sure the SKU numbers are there, so I won't have the headache of yesterday. I do need to do a stock take at some point. Normally I would do 2 stock takes a year, So one at the very beginning of January and one sort of like end of June, so every 6 months. But I've decided that this year I'm going to do 3. So one in January, one at the end of May, and then one in September. So that I feel like because I did one in June last year, I had items that were not available to purchase during Q4. So if I do one in September as well, I should get everything that is not listed, that has come off eBay or has fallen into the ether somewhere. I will be able to get it back on, ready for Q4. Right. See you in a minute. Right, it is currently midday, so it's time to go to the post office, but I've had one more sale come in. This is a Sublime band jumper. This came from the Vintage Wholesale Supply bale, and that one's done quite well actually. That one's sold for $22.99, so happy days. Gotta get this packed, get it to the post office. And I think that's it for Thursday. I'm probably going to call it there, if I'm being honest. There's probably not going to be a lot else happening. I'm going to finish up my work day, and yeah, anything else that comes in now will be shipped on Friday. I've got no more eBay work to do. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. And just like that, it's Friday again. End of the work week. Got a nice long bank holiday again. Bank holiday weekend again this weekend, so happy days. 2 sales for Friday. I'm going to make Friday short and sweet. I'm going to show you these 2 sales, get them packed, get them gone to the post office, the usual stuff. I'm basically going to call Friday early. So I don't think there'll be any eBay activities on Saturday either, so the next time that I check in with you will probably be Sunday morning, bright and early, for the car boot. Well, as predicted, Saturday I did absolutely nothing on eBay at all, and I came to the car boot this morning, so I've been here since 6:30. I was going to film, but then I thought I really need to be laser focused on making sure that I get the items that I need for the rest of this week. And it was cloudy this morning, like really dark clouds, and it has just started raining. So even though the car boot's only been on for an hour, I have been round it. I've picked up everything that I need, and people are now starting to pack up because of the rain. So I feel like, although it's not great for you guys because you didn't get the footage of the car boot and seeing the process of what I picked up, but I will do a haul when I get back home. Alright, so we're back home now, back from the car boot. I'm just going to quickly go through what I picked up. It is only one IKEA bag, but it is a very full IKEA bag. The thing that I wanted to do today is really focus and stay in my lane of clothing. There was a lot of temptation to pick up other things, and because I now have one shelf space for everything that isn't clothing, and that's getting quite full, I really had to make sure that I focused on clothing. So most of this is clothing. You're no surprise to any of you that watch the channel that most of this is clothing. So first thing I picked up, I say first thing, it's first thing out the bag. So I've got a Land Rover jacket. It is a Regatta and Land Rover badge on it. I thought that could do quite well. Land Rover stuff in general doesn't hang around too long when it's on my store. This was a nice one. This is a Mitchell and Ness American football jumper. It's got Peyton 34 on the back, and it's got a throwback on there, so I thought that was quite nice.
This is just a Callaway golf gilet. It's a really lightweight one. Again, we're coming up to that season. And Under Armour quarter zip. There's quite a few Under Armour quarter zips in here. I think I got them from 2 separate people though, so I'll let you know. A Helly Hansen quarter zip, nice lightweight one. Another Under Armour. This one is a Cold Gear quarter zip. I thought it had quite nice detail on the arms and the ribs area, so yeah. I have a FootJoy golf t-shirt, and a Six Nations long sleeve polo. Now all of that I've just shown you was from my contact at the car boot, and all of that came to £50. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items, 50 quid. So that means that each item was about 6 quid. 6.25, something like that. Which is really reasonable from him. Normally, when I purchase from him, his prices are normally a little bit higher because the quality is a little bit better. He must have been in the mood to sell some stuff today. So, really good result from him. I then picked up this Gant, it's really heavy, jacket. That cost me a tenner. That was from a house clearance guy. But the quality of this it feels really, really high quality. I was really impressed with it. Now, there are a few little marks on it. But really, in general, I think that's a really nice jacket. Should be able to do quite well on that one. The next lot I picked up from a different lady. Again, there's a couple of Under Armour bits in here. So there's just a normal quarter zip. I don't think that's a Cold Gear one. It is a Cold Gear one. So Under Armour one there. This is a Crag Hoppers, I believe. Yep, there's the logo. Quarter zip. We have another Under Armour. Again, Under Armour Cold Gear. They're all in size medium. This is a half zip Spider. On that. And then we've got a couple of Under Armour t-shirts. These are the ones that I Am Paradise. I'm sure that's the Rocks collaboration. So I've got that one because I think it's got the Brahma bull on it. And I've got 2 of these identical. And 2. They're actually different sizes, one's a medium, one's a large.
And then finally from that lady I picked up a Metallica t-shirt, which is quite nice. And all of that came to £30. Originally she wanted £5 a piece, and I would have happily paid, do you know what, I probably would have paid it, but I was okay with the jackets, the quarter zips. I was really okay with paying a £5 for them. And then when she said that it was a £5 for the t-shirts as well, all I did was I went, and then she said, well, what do you think? Maybe we could do, I don't know, 30 for the lot. So without even haggling, just from me going, the price came down dramatically. So the t-shirts were probably, what, £2 each, so happy days. I then had a bit of a frenzy with hats. So there was a guy there just selling hats, and a lot of them were cheaper, on the cheaper end. There was some Primark Next ones and things like that, but he had Nike and Adidas and New Era and things like that. And really I was trying to be really picky because I could have happily bought them all. So I've tried to be really picky with the ones I bought. Now he was selling them for £2 each, or 3 for a £5, I think. So I bought 6, so £10 on hats. First one we have is a ping hat. Should do quite well. A Ryder Cup hat. This one's a little bit small, but 2006 Ryder Cup. Be alright. A Titleist hat. So there's the 3 golf ones. And then I got a Wrangler bucket hat. A Mitchell and Ness MBA fitted cap, size 7.5. It's got the not focusing because it's focusing on me. Got the tags in there, and then a McLaren Fernando Alonso. I think it's Alonso. Yep. And then number 14 there. So not bad for a tenner for all of them. I like listing hats, I must admit. They are the easiest thing to list. You just get your little foam head and you just swap and you just spin the head around like 5 times. Take a picture of the inside of the cap and you do. It's the easiest thing in the world. I did pick up a pair of trainers. Picked up some Jordans. Now, if it focuses, these are not very clean, so they will need a clean. Don't know if you'll be able to see. They are a bit dirty. But yeah, £7. I thought my money's got to be safe with £7. They seem really genuine. The people that were selling it seem really genuine. These look like they're legit, so I'm pretty confident in them. They're well worn, but still got loads of life left in them. So I paid £7. I'd be hoping to get somewhere around 40 or 50 for them. I mean, they are a smaller size. They are a size 6.5.
So definitely appeal to women more than men. But they need to clean first, so I'll drop it down there. I then picked up a pair of Boss jeans, you know, they're generic jeans, got the Boss logo there. Nothing too special, just the standard stuff. And then I picked up some military stuff, and military stuff does really well for me. But I normally just pick up the clothing, and there were a couple of bits, and I was umming and ahhing whether I was going to take them or not, and in the end I did. And the first thing is, I don't know how I'm going to photograph this. I imagine I'm going to have to do it outside on the grass, but this is like a camouflage cover. There is a tag on it somewhere. Yeah, so it's a shelter sheet. And it's massive, so I don't know how I'm going to take a photo of it. I also picked up a couple of these canteen things. Now, I'm not sure if these are actually military issued, but she said that her son was in the military, so they've got bits of writing on them. Need a bit of a clean, but I'll do some research and see what it says. And then the other thing I picked up was this, which is a sort of like a bottle and a cup. And again, this looks like, because it says stock number 1990 Osprey on it, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you that. I don't know if it is actually military issued. Smells like that. But again, it's going to need a bit of a clean, a bit of research. I paid £10 for those three things, so for this, the food canteens and the shelter, I would have thought my £10 was safe. You know, if these are legitimate military issue things, then I'll probably be able to get £10 each just off the top of the dome. So maybe even more. And that's it. That was the car boot haul. Now, I only spent an hour there. It was cold. Started to rain. Didn't take that much money because I'm worried about cash flow, but I feel like I did really well. And I think that's probably going to be the end of this week's video. Again, thank you very much if you've made it this far into the video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week for more eBay stuff. See you then. Bye.